Jacket Talk Overtime on LEB TV. Welcome to Buzzcuts in downtown Lebanon. Lunch by Mel's on Madison. And our show today brought to you by Ginger's Wellness, also by Mercy, and by Mid-Missouri Bank. Lebanon football at Capital City for a district semifinal contest this Friday. And we'll talk Jacket football coming up next on Jacket Talk Overtime here on LEB TV. Welcome to Jacket Talk on LEB TV.
How much has your bank paid you? We've paid our Kasasa account holders more than $7 million since 2017. Open an account in minutes to get in on the earnings today.
Welcome back to Buzzcuts in downtown Lebanon. It is Jacket Talk Overtime, and this week the Yellowjackets are in Jefferson City to take on the Capital City Cavaliers. Special guest this week on our show is defensive coordinator Curtis Allen. How's the defense been playing here of late? Because the football team is playing pretty good. 5 straight wins, 6 out of 7.
Yeah, football team's playing great. We've said all year we want to be playing our best football by this time, and I feel like we're getting there. We're still not there yet, but we're getting there. And our defense has gotten better every week, I feel like.
Kind of chart where the defense has come from week number 1 against Webb City to last week's big win.
Yeah, we just, we started a lot of new guys this year on our defense, and they've just gotten better every week. We've started, 2 or 3 in the secondary that had no varsity playing experience, and then some guys at linebacker. We got some veterans back, but a lot of new guys too, and they're, you can tell they've played a full season of football.
Mm-hmm. How have you had to change things around? There's always adjustments in personnel and maybe some tweaks of the scheme as you've gone down the road this season.
Sure. We're not very big. You've watched our linebackers and our D-line. So as the years gone on, we've kind of become more of a pressure team. We send a lot of pressure. And it's something we haven't done in years past, but we've played a lot of man coverage this year, which has been different for us. It's kind of scary sometimes, but I think it's worked out all right for us.
Overall, playing defense in the Central Ozark Conference, what's that been like compared to the Ozark Conference?
It's different. Teams, and I don't want to talk bad about anybody in the Ozark Conference, but, we're seeing teams now that can score at any given moment. Guys that anytime they touch the football can go to the house. And I feel like the quarterback play in this league has been better. Every week we've seen a good quarterback, somebody that can throw the football.
Mm-hmm. So really the transfer to the COC and the caliber of competition has not been unexpected, has it?
No, we knew that coming into it. We knew that teams are well coached. They're good athletes. They're strong. These teams, you go look at their weight room off season, and those guys live in the weight room too. So we knew that coming into it, but I feel like we've done a pretty good job adjusting here of late.
And that kind of transitions into the next thought here, because the weight room procedure for the Yellowjackets changed toward the end of September. Have you noticed any growth and improvement in that area?
It's still too early to tell on that, probably, but by next season, I think we will reap some of the benefits of it.
Mm-hmm. Has there been a good buy-in from the players?
Yeah, for the most part. We could get better, and we will in the off season. That's one of the things we'll have to really recruit and get kids to buy in on the weight room part of that. We've always done a decent job in, getting kids coming to the weight room, but they all got to be there now. I mean, every kid on our team has to get stronger.
We all know that the season, from a one-loss standpoint, did not begin the way it normally does and the way that people had hoped. How did you and the coaching staff keep the spirits and the psychology at the level to keep everybody engaged and really improving? Because we looked at the schedule and saw the final month of the season, and you hope to be playing good football in November. How did the coaching staff try to keep everybody on the same page and kind of rowing the boat in the same direction?
Just like you said there, we want to be playing our best football, in November, middle of November to the end of November. And we kept telling the kids that, and they knew that. Our kids have been around. And again, not to talk about anybody, but the last couple of years, we started off the season, playing people. You didn't really find out your weaknesses till maybe week 9 or 10. Now we found them out week 1, and our kids just bought in and went to work on that.
6-4 is the overall record, but it is what it is. But you go back, there were some opportunities to really
Absolutely
kind of switch things around there in the early portion of the season, to play here, play there, and,
sure.
and it could have been different.
For sure. The Joplin game, for example, a few calls go our way and we win that ball game. That's a big win on the road at Joplin. A few plays against Webb City, and it's a different ball game. So, and then a Neosho team, same way. It was 21-14 against them in the fourth, and we had them on 4th down, and they got one on us. So, on a questionable targeting call.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what was the defensive game plan last week against Jefferson City, and how did you feel that plan was carried out and executed?
So last week against Jeff City, we ran our base 3-4 defense. Felt like we did a good job. I would like to see our effort improve a little bit. I don't feel like last week was honestly our best defensive effort. We gave up the fewest amount of points we had all year, but I don't think we executed the game plan, like we have in some games where we gave up more points. I don't know if motivation was a little down or what, but our kids are stepping up this week. Yesterday was a really good practice defensively. And they bought into the game plan, and I know the effort will be much better this week.
A lot of times you're putting 3 at the line of scrimmage. What's kind of the concept there, and what are you hoping to accomplish?
Yeah. So again, I told you our size, we're not huge, and anybody watches that. So we try to get more speed on the field, maybe taking out a defensive lineman and adding another linebacker to have speed on the field. And we want to win with our speed instead of our size. Don't want to give too much away. This week will be a little bit different. We'll have 4 hands down, playing a 4-man front quite a bit against Capital City's option attack. But
they're pretty good. I've seen them on film,
they are.
And they've got a lot of they've got some talent, don't they?
They do, and they play good football. There's nothing fancy about it. They're going to line up and come at us, and we're going to line up and go at them, and see who can get it done.
Yeah. At times, it's kind of like 2 teams maybe that mirror each other, Lebanon and Capital City.
Very much so. Yes. Their quarterback does a nice job running their offense. They got number 3, the running back's a very good back, and then they do a good job. People don't know this, but they only throw the ball 7 or 8 times a game, but every time they do, it's effective. Kind of like us. They don't throw it much, but when it happens, it's open a lot of times. So we got to do a good job of having our eyes in the right place, and our secondary not falling for the play action. They got to have their job, their responsibility taken care of in the passing game.
Coach C's message is always win the turnover battle. At long last, you're above water in the turnover margin. It took a while, but there you are, +1 now.
And that's something we got to get better on at defensively every week is creating more turnovers. We work it all the time. Just, teams in this league do a good job taking care of the football, just like we do. They practice taking care of the football just like we do. But that's a big emphasis. And in our off-season program, any football stuff we do, that's going to be a big emphasis, creating turnovers.
We've got Nick Allen Pritchard and Brody Shoemaker here today for our show. What do they bring to the defensive unit?
They're 2 great young men. Brody, the long, athletic defensive back, if a tall receiver, if we see a tall receiver, Brody's probably going to get that challenge. And he had 2 interceptions last week, big coming off the bench, actually, on defense and getting 2 big interceptions. Nick, he's a leader of our defense. He does a good job getting our defensive line lined up on, we do a lot of checks to certain formations. Nick does a great job getting us lined up, and then he's a handful for people to block. You got Nick on one side and Mason on the other. You're going to have to pick your poison there, which one you're going to double. And everyone you don't double is going to give you a long night.
People watch the game, watch the film. They'll notice Nick Allen Pritchard and Mason Hendricks really they stand out on film.
They do.
What has Mason Jones brought to the defensive line, and how does he affect the other team's game plan?
Mason Jones brings size, which is one thing I talked about we don't have a ton of on our defense. But Mason Jones, we call him the A-gap eater. And what his job is at nose guard is to eat up an A-gap. And he's done a great job at that. He hadn't made a ton of tackles, but he gets double teamed a lot because he's a big body in there and eats up people so our linebackers are free to make tackles.
You've got him providing size at the linebacker core. You've got one of the smaller linebackers, I think, maybe in Lebanon history, in Baylor Smith. But he's game, and he'll stick his nose in there and get the job done.
He's not afraid of anything, and he's a tough sucker and flies around. You know, you watch him on film, he's all over the place. And I've been very happy with his effort and his execution on the season.
Mm-hmm. What about Avery Starnes as a senior linebacker?
Avery's had a great year. Coach C talks about senior and up kids, you know, when they senior up, and Avery's really done that. Been a leader of our defense also. Mm-hmm. And we kind of put Avery where we think the other team might be going, you know, to kind of shut it down. And he's done a great job. Mm-hmm. Done a great job in the pass coverage game too. We've asked him to play quite a bit of man coverage, and he's done it and done a great job.
Carson Hill, he's been your leading tackler for most of the season. He's really had a good campaign, and he may be a little bit underrated, I think.
Very much so, yeah. And he flies around. He can run. And he's all over the place too. Just like I talked about Baylor, they're little, but they're kind of like water bugs. They're all over the place, and they fly around. Mm-hmm. Do a great job.
The whole team suffered a blow in the jamboree when Weston McKinney went down, the projected starting quarterback for this year. Also, a catalyst on defense. How have you tried to fill the void with his absence this year?
Sure, and shout out to Beckett York. He stepped up and done a heck of a job for us at quarterback this year. I've been really proud of him. We probably wouldn't have used Weston a ton on the defensive side with him being the starting quarterback. You know, our secondary was kind of set at the beginning of the year, but, you know, Weston might have been a guy we could have used in a key passing situation or a down we needed a big stop on. So
then you've got Cameron Rose and Braden LaMontagne also as defensive standouts for you. And, well, I tell you that they both been proven. They've been effective. And in the case of LaMontagne, he's a guy that can score you a touchdown on defense.
Yes, he can. And he's done a great job. You know, he's a kid that sat out since his freshman year, but I'm sure glad he came back. I mean, I don't know where our defense would be right now without him. Mm-hmm. So.
Are you kind of surprised he picked things back up as soon as he did?
No, he was a good athlete. I kind of figured he would. And our safety position mentally is not extremely hard. And he's a smart kid, and he's taken off with it and ran.
So Capital City this Friday night on the road. So you go back on the road. Jackets have always been a pretty good road team, especially at this time of the year. And you talked a little bit about what Capital City offers on offense. Just some of the general keys as a defensive coordinator as you look at them, things that you would like your unit to accomplish to keep you in the game and hopefully win it on Friday.
First down's big. Not allowing them to get 3 and 4 yards on first down. You know, we got to get them behind the sticks on first and second down to get us in a third and long situation and get them to do something they don't want to do, which is throw the football a lot. That's a big key situation for us this week. And then our kids against the option attack doing their job. You know, that we're going to switch up our option responsibilities some, and our kids knowing their assignment and executing it.
So there's nothing radical the scout team has had to do this week really in preparation.
No, our scout team's pretty good at the option game, so we get a pretty good look on the week of when we play option.
Talk about what's coming up as far as the freshman and the junior varsity level. Some of those individuals that might fit into the defensive rotation.
Sure, our freshman or our JV. I'm sorry, our numbers weren't great this year, but they had a good year. They competed. We got some guys at the linebacker position and D-line position and in the secondary position that are going to step up next year and probably starters for us. We got kids like Jackson Snyder and Brody Barker who have both got some minutes in key situations this year and played a little bit, and that's big for them. Mm-hmm. And I expect those two to, you know, with the good offseason to step into a linebacker role for us next year. And then secondary-wise, you got a kid named Austin Yakel who started at quarterback for our JV with Beckett moving up to the varsity. Just a good athlete. We expect big things out of him in the secondary next year. And then Aiden Montoya also in the secondary. And then guys on the defensive line, you got the Carpenter kid, Owen Adams. And those guys are on our defensive scout team, and they give our offense a good look every week. So expect big things out of those guys too. And then freshman wise, they were 8-1, had a very, very good football team. I expect several of those guys to contribute on defense next year.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting because this is really kind of an underclassman-based team. I mean, you've got the nucleus of the senior group, and you're going to miss them. But what's coming up through the pipeline is really, really exciting, isn't it?
For sure. Very much so. You know, our seniors, we don't have a lot of them, but the ones we got have been great leaders for us and good football players for us. You know, we got guys on the defensive side. You got guys like Nick and Mason Hendricks who have been mainstays. You got Avery Starnes. You got Abe Allen, who's been a mainstay in the secondary for us. And then Braden LaMontagne, like we talked about, coming back this year. But everybody else pretty well on our defense. And Baylor Smith, I forget about him, and I shouldn't. But they're gone next year. But we got guys to step into those roles and that have gotten valuable minutes this year to take their place.
Mason Hendricks, he's got some time on offense this year too, hasn't he?
And he's an animal at tight end. He is. He's really good. And
how much does that help the running game, having him as an inline blocker like
big
that?
Time. He's one of the best blockers on our team, and they didn't use him early in the season, you know, with the heat factor and the conditioning factor, and we wanted to save him for defense. So he was fresh every down on defense. But since he stepped into a blocking role on our offensive line, he's done a great job.
Mm-hmm. You feeling good about Friday night?
Very good. Yep. One snap at a time.
Coach, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's defensive coordinator Curtis Allen joining us today on Jacket Talk Overtime. Back in just a moment. Welcome back to Jacket Talk Overtime from Buzzcuts in downtown Lebanon. Lunch is provided today by Mel's on Madison, and Nick Allen Pritchard is our guest, Jacket senior defensive end. How would you grade your season so far up to this point through the first 10 games?
I think it's been awesome. I'd say A+, just having all the teammates around me. They've been playing good, and they've all stepped up. And then in the new conference, it's more competitive and bigger games, so it's funner to play.
How did everyone stay engaged? Talked with Coach Allen about this with a slow start to the season. How did you as a senior really try to keep everybody involved and pushing forward in the direction you wanted to go?
I think we just had to stay together and keep playing and remember that those early losses didn't really matter. It's, you know, getting closer to the end of the season, these bigger playoff games mattered more. And we just kept working and we kept believing, and it's kind of paid off.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were a backup quarterback on last year's football team. Do you kind of miss the offensive side because most of your snaps are on defense?
Yeah, I've jumped around since middle school to tight end, quarterback, wide receiver. I've been able to kind of play a lot of positions and get reps and be able to be there if needed. So, yeah, quarterback is fun, but defense, I love that more.
You've got 3 sacks and 5 tackles for loss. Are you satisfied with that, or would you like to see a little bit of enhancement there?
No, I wish I had a little bit more, but like I said, the competition's a lot harder. So just doing anything I can for my team and filling my gap is more important than the individual stats.
Of course, you may not get a boatload of sacks, but you are applying pressure to the other team's quarterback, so that's a mainstay part of the defense, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really important. You know, makes them make harder throws when we're right in their face. So.
You're going to be facing a run-based Capital City team on Friday night. Talk about what you've seen from them on film and looking at them and kind of game planning for what they're going to present.
Yeah, they're big nasties. They got some big guys in there, and they're pretty aggressive, and they're probably one of the better lines we'll see all season. And so it's going to be just kind of smash mouth, and whoever hustles more is going to be the winner.
I know you've got designs on playing college football. I know in the last month you took a visit to Lindenwood. Can you kind of clue us in on what you're looking for as a destination for your college career?
Yeah, I haven't really decided yet. Lindenwood was great. I really liked Lindenwood and the coach staff, and everything there was pretty awesome. And I haven't really decided on anything else because in December I go and play in Dallas, Texas at the Cowboy Stadium, and alumni there like Christian McCaffrey and Patrick Mahomes and guys like that. So there's going to be a lot of recruits there. So I think A lot of people see my time's running out, but I think I have a little bit more to let my recruiting process see what happens.
How did you get the opportunity to go to Dallas?
One day I was sitting in school and I got the invitation. I don't really know how, to be honest, but maybe a little bit of help with Coach C. But I got the invitation, and then I went to a combine, and there were some dudes there, and I just competed my butt off, and I got invited to be playing the bowl game.
Any particular subject you enjoy in school that you might want to pursue with a college degree?
I enjoyed the business classes. Business is a degree I'd probably pursue, I think. But I'm in the construction tech class too, so there's all sorts of options there for me.
Nick, appreciate the visit, and best of luck in the Capital City game this Friday. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Nick Allen Pritchard joining us today on Jacket Talk Overtime.
My name is Jaisha Connor, owner and nurse practitioner here at Ginger Wellness. I believe that sometimes healthcare does too much, and I believe that's where wellness centers can really bridge that gap and really give people some confidence in natural ways, healthier ways, to really improve quality of life and to get healthy.
We want to feel better and live better lives. It's not about quantity, it's a lot about quality of your life.
Ginger Wellness is where I went to get my quality of life back.
There's only one rule of this interview, and that's you can't make fun of my shirt.
I got you.
So you good with that?
Yeah.
That's the only rule, though.
I told you I already been making fun of it in my head.
You have. I don't blame you, but it's Christmas time. There we go. What's wrong with it? What's your favorite Christmas movie?
I don't have a favorite. I don't watch movies that much.
You don't have, like, Home Alone?
Yeah, I mean, Home Alone. I'll sit down and watch it, but I don't.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
No.
It's not. One of these days, when you grow up, you'll understand that Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
No.
So you do like Home Alone, though?
Yeah, that's a good movie.
But you don't watch many movies?
No, not really.
What's your favorite movie of all time? Not even Christmas.
Favorite movie? I don't know. Step Brothers is always a good answer, but a lot of people say that. It's probably like Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim. Okay. You're supposed to ask me what mine is.
Oh, what's your favorite movie?
Joe Dirt.
Joe.
That's one of them. Friday Night Lights has always been up there for
that's
me.
a good one.
And then Varsity Blues, of course, always a good one. Brings back a lot of good memories and that sort of thing. So, well, I'm Ramsey with LEB TV, and we're sitting down with Nick Allen Pritchard, defensive end for LHS. Right, Nick?
Yep.
How long have you been playing football?
Since I was little.
Yeah. Mighty Mike days?
Yep.
And you've had a love for it the whole time, right?
Mm-hmm. I've always loved football.
Is it numero uno, top priority?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on the time. I mean, there's always, each day you have a new priority you got to get done, but football, yeah.
Best football memory?
Probably beating Camden last year. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's everyone's favorite memory.
Right. Nothing
But that
wrong
was a
with
real
that.
good game, so beating them was fun. And it was our last time ever playing them, so.
I know Kevin touched on it, but you played a ton of positions for Lebanon.
Yeah.
Quarterback, defensive end. You've gotten in tight end.
I've gotten into, you go back to last year against West Plains, I had a couple of receiver reps too.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty versatile.
Yeah.
Do we make fun of the fact that you didn't catch that touchdown pass against
we don't.
Waynesville, right? Or is it Glendale? Which one was it?
Waynesville.
It was Waynesville. We don't make fun of that.
I think we're just used to it now. I mean, last year I maybe had a couple drop ones too, so that's all right.
It's all part of it.
Yeah.
So tell me, let's dive into football. Everybody sees football, hears football, all of that. We know it dominates everything, but talk about the life of a student athlete and how you've been able to work that aspect of it around football and the things you got going on.
It's hard sometimes. You got a bunch of classes. I'm a senior now, so I don't have as many classes, and all my classes are virtual, but it's hard because you got to get everything done, and then you got to go around football, and you got football practice from 3 till 5:30, and you're just exhausted, so it's hard to keep wanting to do your schoolwork. And sometimes you get homework, and it's hard, but it's also easy to find a medium and balance it out if you can, but it just takes effort.
Right.
You just got to put time into it.
Is it worth it?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely worth it.
What's it like? Can you put into words what that Friday night running through the helmet's like?
It's awesome. You got everyone, you got all your friends, your family, and everyone's cheering for you, and you run out and put you in the spotlight. So, and you got all your friends with you, and the sport you love, and it's just there's no other feeling like it. And you just get the rush of adrenaline. It really just pumps you up.
You got a pretty big support crew, I know.
Yeah.
I know you've got a lot of friends and family and people always there supporting you and putting you up on a pedestal and doing it. Tell me a little bit about how you're handling some of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. I got a lot of people who come and support me, and they're always there for me. And if I need anyone to talk to, I got a lot of people there, and that's helped me a lot through
Right.
the last few years. And
It's been a few. I don't want to make light of it, but I
Yeah.
know you've been through some off-field stuff, and I was friends with your mom, and I know how much she looked up to you and how much she loved you. And can you tell us a little bit about that, as far as what you've learned and how you're kind of overcoming some of that adversity?
yeah, that was probably the hardest times in my life. I mean, as it would be for anyone. I mean, it was really hard to get through that, but it was also I could use it as motivation. I think that helped me a lot. It motivated me to want to do good for her. So there's been the goods and bads of it. Obviously, it's all bad, but
Right.
you can't let it take you down. You gotta use it as motivation, I think.
Well, I think one of the coolest things I saw was senior night. You took that picture out of her.
Yeah, that was
She'd
I'd-
probably be embarrassed, wouldn't she?
yeah, but that was important to me. I wanted to do that, and
What's it like having a little brother that you know is planning on following in your footsteps, and how are you kind of showing him the ropes? He's 11, right?
yeah,
Your
I
dad
think.
says he's going to be a politician, and he said
No,
Mike said that he would be a tougher interview than you would be, because he said Blake is just a talker. But
yeah, he runs his mouth, but it's usually not smart intellect comments. So I don't think a politician would be for him, but he's gonna be a good kid. He's gonna, he's getting raised right, and he knows the right from wrong, and he's gonna be a good football player and good athlete in general too.
right, he's always kind of following you around.
Yeah, he does baseball too, which I never did. So he's gonna probably be more athletic than me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if as big, but
He
maybe a
won't be.
little bit.
Well, I mean, you're a monster out there. Looking, I mean, we've made comments a couple times about how. Here, Brian. We've made comments sometimes looking out at the field and seeing you and the size and the dominance that you have. I think folks would watch and feel free to interrupt me, but the stats that you're putting up maybe don't really reflect what your overall goal is and how you're helping the team. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, that's really fair. I mean, a lot of the times, and I mean, I have multiple pictures of it. People don't see, when you get triple teamed or double teamed, and
Right.
you're taking players away out of the problem, and you're leaving open gaps for your linebackers to slip through. And our entire D line does that. Both the Masons, Mason Hendricks and Mason Jones, do a good job of occupying other people for other people to make plays, and that's what the team's all about. Being able to do that.
Safe to say, one of your jobs, like, and you just mentioned it, like, people don't understand the job. Some of the job of the defensive lineman is to take up that space and
Yeah.
leave it so the backers can scrape and make plays, right?
Yeah, people don't see it. I mean, there's not really, it's not, D-line's not the hard. I mean, it's physically hard, and you got to be pretty big to be in there, but really it's just fill your gap and don't get moved and let other people around you who are free make the plays. And if you can make a play, it's awesome, but, it's just being sound and disciplined to your gap, really.
Gotcha. So, I know you've faced some really tough folks. The move from the Ozark Conference last year to now the Central Ozark Conference, and we've talked a lot about it. Tell us who might have been some of your biggest foes this year.
Well, I think anyone can agree on probably Nixa.
Right.
Nixa's got a really good O-line. And it's not just, the big name of Cantwell. I mean, he's really good too. All across, all five of them are Division I players, I think, and they're all really good. So that was hard. And this conference, everyone's a little bit bigger. Everyone's really big compared to, like Coach Allen said, we're kind of smaller team. We always have been, but we play hard. And a lot of people say that about Lebanon. We just play really hard, but definitely competition's a little bigger. So everyone was a little bit harder to play, but, teams like Nixa and Joplin had a really big O-line, and but yeah, those teams were pretty hard.
Well, it's been fun to watch. As a fan, we're seeing new people each week. It seems like, or at least at the start of the season. So it's been refreshing. But following along into what you're doing, you were named captain this year as well, right?
Yeah,
What'd that mean to you?
that was pretty cool. I was glad to see all my teammates agree on me being a captain, because we get voted on. So that was pretty cool seeing support from my teammates.
Obviously a few weeks ago, Rudy passed away. And what have you seen? Rudy and you were very close.
Yeah.
I know you guys are good buddies. How's the football team kind of rallied around that? What are you seeing different?
It was hard, obviously, and but everyone came together and we stuck together. Just like I said, when everyone supporting you helps. So when everyone gets together and just celebrates it, and we can go out to their house and celebrate with their parents, or not celebrate, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? Be with them and, turn those sad times maybe into happy memories. And that's really helped. And just, I think it's just, like I said earlier, let it motivate us to do good for him.
Right. So we're now in round 2 of Class 5, District 5. Capital City coming up this week. None of us have really know anything or seen them. Obviously, it's hard to, you're obviously taking each game at a time, but you know that there's an end coming.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Have you prepared yourself? Are you just taking each game every opportunity?
Yeah, one game at a time, win, move on. All those wins add up, but you can't really prepare yourself. Last year, even as a junior, it was devastating, and I still had one more year, so I can't even imagine what it's going to be like this year. But if we just take one game at a time, win after win, they all add up to the end, and I think that'll be all right for us.
Well, man, it's been good. I'm glad we got to sit down and kind of bring a different side of student athlete life and some of the things you've been through. But anybody you want to shout out? Anybody you want to thank?
Well, all my teammates and everyone who supported me and all that, and then probably my dad. My dad, he's the main guy. He's always there for me, and he helps me through everything. And
he's a good one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in half the positions I am without him.
I know he's got your best interest and does everything he can to make sure you guys have what you need. And it's seeing that side of things is really cool.
Yeah.
And I know how much you appreciate and respect him, and I know how much he loves you guys. So appreciate you sitting down with us and chopping it up.
For sure.
Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Go Jackets.
Mm-hmm. Go Jackets. Yeah.
You shouldn't have to give up the hometown bank experience to enjoy modern convenience. Just check our Google reviews about our in-person, online, and mobile banking experiences. Open an account in minutes today.
What's going on? I'm Ramsey with LEB TV, and we're sitting down with Brody Shoemaker, wide receiver, defensive back.
Yes, sir.
Everything on the football field, right, Brody?
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, football was always kind of a big deal for me, but wasn't until high school because baseball was really big thing in my life. Always baseball.
There's a video floating around. I know your dad did when you hit a home run, a grand slam like Branson or something, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it always pops up on Facebook.
Yeah,
so.
Baseball was always my sport. Always loved it. But it was only because I wasn't a great athlete at football till later on.
Right.
So I was always the backup kind of kid, always.
Yeah.
Didn't start 8th grade year, barely started freshman year. Sophomore came around, JV quarterback. It was a weird thing for me.
Gotcha.
So, and then I got kind of progressed more in football, and now it's football.
Well, you were saying before that you went from a size 11 to a size 13.
Yeah.
So a growth spurt probably helped
Big
a lot
growth
of this.
spurt. I was 4'11", 6th grade year, and then was probably 5'2", then 5'6", maybe.
And now you're
6'2",
6'2". Now is that a real measurement, or is that a
little
program?
Little estimate.
I know how it is.
Yeah,
people still do that, right?
100%.
Oh yeah, you got to look a little bigger. You got to look a little tougher.
Of course.
So I want to talk about. We'll get into football. We'll get on. You're a wide receiver on the offensive side of the ball.
Yes, I am.
And I know a lot of folks probably look at a wide receiver in this offense and think, What's the point?
Yeah.
You know, all you're doing is blocking.
Might as well just have a tight end.
Right. This year, we're starting to see a little bit of an opening up on a handful of plays. You've benefited from that. The team's benefited from that.
Yeah.
So
it's been fun.
Tell us a little bit about blocking. Like what's your mindset? How do you go about it?
So I'm not the strongest, most bulky guy. So I always try to get in the right spot, and I just try to hold my own. So in our offense, the wide receivers blocking, we just try to get the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
So like on all of our inside runs, our outside runs, it's not as much as beating the guy. It's as much as getting in their way. Because we're blocking outside backers, inside backers, strong safeties, and we're usually not as big.
Right.
So it's not as much beating your guy, as much as getting in the right spot, holding your own until Jack Glendening scores a touchdown.
I got you. So that's, and again, this in the last few games, Coach Summer has opened the playbook a little bit, to the delight of fans, I know, and I'm sure the kids on the team and you
100%.
yourself included are a little excited to try some different stuff, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been run since
youth football,
since before youth football,
right?
Mighty Might even. And I mean, just having that side of the playbook open now is just great. Because I mean, if you even just watch some of our games, corners, safeties, they are just screaming for our slots, our backers, because everyone knows us as shove it down
your throat, run 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah.
Well, when you got players like Jackson, some of the long line of Lebanon running backs we've seen, I mean, you can't fault anybody for taking advantage of that.
Oh no, so, John Barry, Jax, all of them. Cade.
Who was your favorite one?
You can't
put
do
you on
that.
the spot.
No,
Yeah,
you can't do that.
Yeah, I got to put you on the spot. I didn't say who do you think's the best. It's who's your favorite.
I think just playing with Jax.
Been able to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And
I would have to say Jax.
He's one of a kind, and I know he's a team first guy through all of this.
Always has been.
And that's what's cool to see from, you can tell, and even in the events, the adversity that's happened this year and a lot of the experiences you guys are going through, there's a bond and there's a team first mentality, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, Jax has the biggest relationship with our O-line I've ever seen.
Right.
After every play, he's thanking them. He's telling them what they did wrong, what they did right. So I mean, he is just a team player. So
let's get into it, because I want to specifically talk about your season. I know we came out of the gates rocking and rolling. You're kind of the back corner fade guy in the end zone, goal line kind of guy. But get to Willard, you're playing defense, and there's a big play. And I know from the stands, it was a little bit it was scary. Just tell us about that play in particular.
So I can't much because I don't remember much.
Okay.
So I remember 2 plays before, Ty Glendening was telling me post route. He's going to throw the post. Get to that play, runs the post. I mean, I knew it because, I mean, Ty was just post.
You're getting coached.
Yeah. So I saw it. I broke on it. And when I watched it back, I went for the ball. I mean, I tipped the ball.
Right.
And then Brain LaMontagne did not go for the ball, and he went for the guy.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just like, it was scary for me because the only thing I remember is going up and touching the ball. And then next thing I remember, I'm getting stretched off the field.
Right.
So, I mean, I thought I was paralyzed. I mean, I thought my season was over. I thought I was wheelchair forever, could never play sports again. So, I mean, it was probably the scariest moment in my life I've ever been through.
So the play happens, obviously emergency personnel on the spot, taking care of you.
Yeah.
It's your mom and dad, everybody, you know, and we see, but like at what point did it start to like feel and understand that you were going to, I don't want to use it, and we'll probably cut some of this because we'll keep, but like at what point did you get it, that first sense of like, okay, I'm going to be okay?
When I got into the stretcher and he told me my neck wasn't broken, because that's what.
So they told you your neck wasn't broken when you were on the stretcher.
The people on the field, they were holding my neck. They were just constantly saying, his neck is broken. His neck is broken. We need to keep him down. And so when I got to the ambulance, he was touching around my neck. He's like, can you move it? I was moving it. He's like, your neck isn't broken. I was like,
So, sigh of relief, huh?
yeah, biggest sigh of relief of all time. I was just so thankful that my neck wasn't broken.
I got you. So they get you in the ambulance, and then the real work starts, because
Yeah.
then it's the opportunity to really diagnose what's going on,
Yeah.
get a better idea.
Yeah.
So tell me about like kind of that post injury care and what some of the things you went through, because you got your team over there.
Yeah.
You know, they got to play the game. They're moving on, but they're thinking of you, the
Yeah.
fans, the coaches, everybody. But like, give me an idea of how it kind of went after that. I know you went to the hospital that night.
Yep.
Because it was weird from a sideline. You're seeing panic,
Yeah.
rightfully so. But then you were in the ambulance on the track essentially for a few hours
Yeah.
after it happened. So that's when people started, I think, to get a little bit of a relief that,
Yeah.
hey, we're not,
They're not sending me
Right.
automatically. They're not.
right. They're diagnosing, they're treating, they're
Yeah.
doing that. So tell me a little bit about that.
So we were at the hospital. I think we left at around 1:30. I had my back MRI, and then I had an X-ray on my head, and then I had a CT scan on my back again. So it was honestly really fast, and everyone there was so nice. They were so caring.
Mm-hmm.
We got home, slept awful. Oh, it was the worst sleep I've ever had in my life. Every toss and
Just
turn.
sore.
I was so sore.
Right.
I've never been so sore so quick in my life. But I was supposed to go to the Mizzou game the next day.
Didn't happen.
Parents were not letting me do that. So I think sleep, honestly, I slept so much, and I think that's what helped through all of it. I mean, I just slept. I drank so much Gatorade, because I was extreme. When I got hit, he told me my electrolytes were almost 0.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he said that's why I got knocked out,
Right.
because I had no electrolytes, no nothing. So Saturday and Sunday, I slept on my bed. I drank Gatorade. I went up for dinner and slept.
Eat and sleep.
Eat and sleep. But I honestly think doing that was probably the best case scenario.
Right. So what happens after that? Obviously, we've kind of done the timeline. Play happen, emergency services, all the things. Obviously, start to feel a little bit better about the situation. Go to the hospital. Now you're home. Talk about the team and some of what you learned about your teammates and like how they kind of responded.
So I went to practice on Monday, and I went to all the practices, and they were all so nice. I love my teammates to death. But I was just so sad. I honestly thought that like it'd be kind of nice to take a little break.
Right.
And then I got there and I saw all my teammates loving on me and going out there and playing. But I mean, the biggest thing was like all my friends on the team, not even some of the kids that I didn't even know on the team that well, were just so nice to me.
Right.
And I mean, that bond and friendship on the football team is just there's nothing like it.
That adversity brings people closer. One of their brothers, we talk about that, and I think Coach Christian's mentioned it.
Yeah.
Band of brothers,
Yeah.
the brotherhood, and the things that go. So you've got all those guys, they got games to play, but you're kind of sitting on the sidelines wanting to be in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, medical reasons,
Yeah.
you're not there
Yeah.
yet. So what was it like watching once you got through those first few days and then come to Friday night? Like you're sitting there and you're still part of the team. You're probably
Yeah.
coaching a little bit,
Yeah.
helping out, being an emotional leader, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. But what was the timelines like to know that you were going to be able to get back on the field? Because you missed how many games?
2.
You missed 2 games.
Yep.
Came back, and then I think your first game back probably eased into it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You weren't thrown right
So
into the fire.
actually, since my concussion was medically treated, not like athletically treated,
Right.
that I can only play half the game.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that. So,
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if you were playing in a game on Friday night, and we're just coming up with scenarios here, but if you're playing in a game on Friday night and you get a concussion, but they're like, you got a concussion,
Yeah.
like that's then a different protocol
Yeah.
than
So
what you went through.
as soon as you're cleared, you can go back. But since mine was, I had to go to the hospital. I had to get diagnosed. I had CT scans, whatever it is, X-ray
All of it.
scans.
You had it all.
All of it. I couldn't play that much.
I got you.
So, I mean, they obviously, if I would have got cleared anyways, it still would have been half reps, fourth reps, which probably needed because,
Right.
I mean, it was not just a single concussion.
Right.
So
So
yeah.
was there any rust? Did it take you a second to
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
get back and
100%.
get in the swing of things?
I mean, as soon as I stepped on the field, I felt this like fall over me. Like it
Right.
was just like so nervous to just be back on the field, but I was also excited.
right.
So I mean, it was a weird experience those first couple plays, just trying to get back into it,
Right.
trying to see what I felt like, because I was just scared as everybody else. I was
Right.
scared to get hit again.
What are some of the things they had you do to help, I guess, get back, not quicker, but like what are some of the like therapy, physical therapy, mental things? Like what did you have to do for some of that stuff?
Running,
Running.
so much running.
That's what the
Mhm.
doctors are like, hey, go run.
Well, so our athletic trainer Brian, so concussion protocol, you have to do this many amount of sprints in this amount of time. You have to run this many miles. You have to run another mile. You
wow.
have to do more sprints.
Okay.
I guess he told me that if there are concussions still there, that
Mhm.
you'll know from running.
Right.
I guess just exhausting the body makes your symptoms increase.
Okay.
So it's just, I think the first day it was like biking, just kind of slowly going back into it. You had to bike for so many minutes, and then it was miles, sprints, and then more miles. So it's not as much like massage or anything like that.
Right. It's more physical activity.
It's physical activity.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
so you obviously, and they're keeping a close eye on that.
Yeah.
They understand. The professionals know what they're doing. They know how to handle this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you get back in the game, play the one half.
Yeah.
And then the next game you're cleared to play, which ends up being is it the Waynesville game or Glendale game?
Waynesville.
Waynesville.
No,
And
no, Glendale.
Glendale.
Yeah.
That's the game you went off, right?
It is. Yep.
So tell us about that, because I want to understand how, you mentioned it earlier, as a wide receiver in that offense, your number one job is to block.
Yep.
And then play comes in, Beckett comes running in, says, and I don't know what you guys call the play, but
Yeah.
give me your biggest play this year. Give me the play call.
My biggest play, I think it was base Rocket Fire Iowa Y post.
Base, Rocket Fire, Iowa, Y post.
Yep. And I ran a post, and I think it was 49 yards,
Yeah.
51 yards. Yeah. And that was the Glendale game.
Yeah.
So it was, it's nice. It's
It
nice
is.
to get the ball sometimes.
Right. But it's rewarding too,
Oh,
because
it's
you
so
put in
rewarding.
you put in all that work and you go, for lack of a better term, unnoticed. You're
Yeah.
doing your job. You're helping contribute.
Yeah.
Maybe fans don't necessarily see all the aspects of it, but then that play comes in, you've practiced it all week, you're ready to rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
You know it.
Oh, yeah.
You know it like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
And then to see it come to fruition
Yeah.
had to have been pretty incredible.
It's-
especially with what went down.
Yeah. I feel even Coach Summer says, like, sometimes I'll be blocking really bad in the game. He'll be like, you keep blocking like that, you're not going to get the ball.
Right.
So sometimes I do block, and he's like, I'm going to reward you for that.
Right.
So, Coach Summer is the definition of you do your job, you do it.
Right.
You do your job, you get the ball. Not that, but
Right.
if you do your job, we're going to give you some.
Right.
And he does it well. When I'm blocking bad and he tells me that, obviously, what do I want to do?
So, anything lingering? Anything that you need to? You're 100%, right?
Yeah.
Going into what is now the district semifinals against Capital City. Similar game plan, I guess, going in, right?
Yeah. So their outside backers are not what we've been seeing
Okay.
recently. Like the Jeff City, the Waynesville, the Glendale, their kids aren't as big, and they're
Right.
not as athletically gifted, I would say. But those kids are huge. So
Right.
we just been working all week on getting low, driving your feet, blocking.
Being in your position.
Yep.
And then letting the rest work itself out.
Mhm.
Getting to the position, and then executing.
It's just, we just have to play good. We can play good. We've been playing good.
Right. Five in a row.
Yeah.
5 in a row and 6 out of 7.
So it's been nice recently. If we just keep this moving, it'll be nice.
Well, it's been exciting. We always ask kids that come on here, band kids, volleyball kids, you name it. We ask, like, Anybody you want to thank? I know your parents are a huge supporter of the
Yeah.
things you got going on, and I
Yeah.
know your sister's as big a supporter as anybody. So
100%.
anybody you want to talk about?
My dad.
If you leave them out, you'll be in trouble. So here's your chance to just start rattling them off.
My dad, 100%. My mom, my grandpa,
Right.
my other grandpa. I mean, all my family, we're just so close, and they're all so supportive of me, and I love all of them to death, and they love me. So, I mean, it's just one big bond.
Yeah.
So it's nice. I can't thank them all.
You guys run in a pack, that's for sure.
100%.
So
100%. If we go somewhere, they're going. If they go somewhere, we're going.
we
So,
had your Uncle Ryan in the press box last
Yeah,
week making
yeah.
on Steak Patrol.
yeah,
You ever get any of that? Did he get you one after you got?
of course.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good, aren't
Oh,
they?
they're so good.
What if you had to choose between Steak Patrol steak and Steak Patrol pork belly? What are you picking?
Wow.
Because man, I've had the poppers, I've had the steak. Ryan, if you're watching, this is not at all us trying to get you to make us more stuff ever. We wouldn't do that.
Of course not.
But I've had the pork belly, the steak, the poppers. I've had some wings. Like, what's your favorite that comes from? Because your dad can throw down too.
Oh, yeah.
Your dad, he can make the ribs,
He can
the
throw down.
pulled pork. Like, what is it? What's your favorite? It's your birthday and you got to pick a birthday meal, and your dad and your mom and your uncle, and they say, hey, we're cooking you something. You name it, it's on the list. What do you do? What are you going with?
Wings.
Wings,
I love them.
hot wings, barbecue wings. What are you doing?
That's hard. There's so many.
You a blue cheese or a ranch guy? Like, you're probably
Ranch.
what's wrong with
Oh,
you?
don't give me that, Ramsey.
Yeah,
Blue cheese.
that's the original, man. Ranch
Come
is
on.
like, it's pretty basic. You got to go blue cheese
Why?
because it's just better.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Some spicy buffalo wings, smoked.
You're a buffalo kind of guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Actually, my favorite is a perfect blend of a spicy barbecue sauce and a buffalo sauce mixed.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit of both. That's like chef's kiss for me.
I like that Thai sweet chili.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, that with ranch is just. Oh, it's so good.
There's a place. Have you ever had General Chicken hot wings?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like that's actually
It's too hot.
It's too hot.
Too hot, man.
What is wrong with you?
I don't want to be dying. I want them to taste good, but I don't want to be like.
Yeah. General Chicken sauce isn't that bad. That's
No.
it's like
General
mild.
Chicken's not bad, but
Yeah, there
adding
you go.
the hot and
So
can't do
good.
it.
So, well, I think we've touched on all this stuff. Anything else you want to say? Oh, I've asked a lot of folks. Like, so far, you're a junior. So
Yep.
we know we got another year left. You mentioned baseball earlier. Still
Yep.
playing baseball?
Nope.
I heard a little rumor, something about maybe seeing you on the basketball court.
Nope.
Not happening.
Nope.
It's football.
It's football.
That's it.
It's football.
So what's off season going to be like for you?
Weights. A lot of
Weights?
working out. A lot of eating.
A lot
Gotta
of
gain
eating?
some weight. I am doing track and golf.
So okay, so you track and golf. Sorry,
Yeah.
I did hear about that. I think
Yeah.
Coach Overstreet told me something
Mhm.
about that.
So
So you're gonna do a little 2-sport action in the spring.
I am
So off season, mainly winter time is just bulking,
bulking. A
getting
lot of
big.
eating, a lot of gym.
So we need to make sure Timmy's taking care of you. Is that one of the? Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll
Tim will
be
take care of me.
He'll be excited to get
Oh,
you in
yeah.
there and
He'll
get
be-
you back. I
He'll be
know.
hyped.
I know he's all your guys' biggest fan, and he loves watching you guys. And then he enjoys what he's, I'm sure he's already programming what he's
Oh,
going
yeah.
to do. And but I appreciate you sitting down and talking about what you went through.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, there's a stigma out there, and folks are worried about safety and that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
testament to what you went through and the response from medical staff. I know
Yeah.
your parents have both said what from the emergency crew that night to your now and
Yeah.
the trainers and everybody, they couldn't be happier and
No.
prouder to work with
Yeah.
a group that's put your safety and your future first and foremost.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't ask for a better group out there. They were so nice, so loving. Took care of me quick.
yeah.
Got out there fast as could.
Well, we're excited. Friday night at Capital City.
Yep.
Cavaliers, District 5, Class 5 semifinal number 2.
Yep.
Let's come away with the W.
Oh,
All
will
right.
be a W.
All right. We end these with Go Jackets.
Go Jackets.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
Brody.
Of course. Thank you, Ramsey.
Welcome to Jacket Talk on LEB TV.